Hello and welcome to another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. In each episode, we take a look at a movie that is featured on Disney+. On this episode, we are going way back deep into the Disney vault as we take a look at Candleshoe starring Jodie Foster. And stay tuned for our bonus episode as we take a look at the history of the Disneyland Dairy Bar. And if you are enjoying these videos, I do ask that you please hit that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified with each new episode. Now, sit back and enjoy this episode of Disney Movie Investigation. So like I said, today we are covering Candleshoe. This movie was released on December 6, 1977. It was directed by Norm Toker. It is based on the novel Christmas at Candleshoe by Michael Innes. The production companies was Walt Disney Walt Disney Productions, and it was distributed by Buena Vista Distribution. But let's take a look at the backstory. So Compton Winettes in Warwickshire would serve as the shooting location for the Candleshoe estate. Other areas in England that were used were Pinewood Studios and the Severn Valley Railway in the United Kingdom. So a soundtrack of the movie wouldn't be released until 2015, and it would include the full score as well as bonus tracks. And the significance of this movie is this actually casting Jodie Foster in the lead role would prevent her from being cast in Star Wars. She was up for consideration as Princess Leia in the movie, but she was under contract to Disney to make this movie. She was under a 3-picture deal, and she was actually where she completed Freaky Friday, and then she only had a 3-week break before completing the filming, before starting the filming of Candleshoe. So in terms of the cast, obviously we have Jodie Foster, who plays Casey Brown, David Ninan, who plays Priory, Helen Hayes, who plays Lady Gwendolyn, Leo McKern, who plays Harry Bundridge, Vivian Pickles, who plays Clara Grimsworthy, and John Alderson, who plays Jenkins. So in terms of the plot of the movie, a small-time crook named Harry Bundridge discovers that the manor house where Lady St. Edmund resides with 3 orphans and her butler is the resting place for a hoard of treasure. Unfortunately, he doesn't know where it is, and Bundridge recruits street urchin Casey Brown to dupe Lady St. Edmund into thinking that she is her long-lost granddaughter. And this way, she can search for clues in the location of the treasure. Unbeknownst to Bundridge and her ladyship, Lady St. Edmund is flat broke, and Priory and her children are helping the landlady to try to stay afloat and to try and keep the home and pride of the Candleshoe estate. Joined by Casey, they eventually do all their chores, and Priory acts as the butler, gardener, and chauffeur, and all major at all the same time. So in terms of recommending this movie, this is one of those classic Disney family movies of the 70s. So this is where Walt had passed away about 10 years earlier, and so the Disney company was still trying to find their way into how they would proceed without Walt. So this one is it's a basic family movie. It has those hijinks with the kids, and it has a simple story. Jodie Foster does a really good performance in it. She's very captivating. You could see why she would go on to be one of the all-time greats. But yeah, it's just a simple family movie. Recommend it, but not one that I'm going to go back to over and over again. So as we take a look at our bonus story, we're going to take a look at the history of the Disneyland Dairy Bar. So 6 months after Disneyland opened, Disney worked with the American Dairy Association to try and bring some of their trade shows to the Disneyland park, specifically into Tomorrowland. The display would be located inside and would feature the future in dairy production and distribution. Inside, guests would find plastic cows who would watch TV while they would be milked by guests. In addition, they would show modern milking machines and a model of milk delivery using a jet-powered flying vehicle in a small town. So the display also offered a place for guests to sit down at tables and drink a cold glass of milk. And above all this, there was an interesting sign that stated, "Milk is the nature's most nearly perfect food." Unfortunately, this didn't last long. It only lasted until 1958, when Tomorrowland would go under a massive re-theming and restructuring. But it's an interesting piece of Disneyland history, and at this point, when Disneyland first opened, they were looking at various different sponsors to come in and do fill up space within Disneyland Park, and I thought this was an interesting piece of Disney history. So thank you so much for joining us here on another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. I would love for anyone to leave a comment below on what they think of Candleshoe. And if you had ever gone to the American Dairy Association Dairy Bar in Disneyland, I would love for you to share your experiences. And as we look forward to our next episode, we're going to take a look at a 90s action movie as we take a look at Chain Reaction starring Keanu Reeves and Morgan Freeman. So until next time, I hope you have a magical day, and we will see you real soon.